Welcome to BSW's Tech Dive. Tech Dive.
Submerge the ship.
The show goes technically deep into products you care about. The new, the old, the newish. So put on your gear, close up the hatch, and prepare to
Dive. Submerge the ship.
And now, here's John.
Welcome to this edition of BSW Tech Dive. I am John Lynch, BSW's Director of Business Development, and we're talking with Mike Pappas, also a Director of Business Development, but not for BSW, but for industry leader Orban Labs on the processing side of the broadcast world. And Mike, what we want to talk about now is not on air, but it is involving similar types of processing, and it's the Orban PCN1600, can be used in HD, streaming, podcasting. We want to talk about all of those, but get us started with what people are using the PCN1600 for.
Well, yeah, absolutely, John. So the PCN1600 is software that you can run on your own, bring your own PC processor and install the PCN1600 software on it. People are using it for things like HD2, HD3, streaming. It'll do batch file processing. So if you're a podcaster and you put together a podcast and you want to run it and get the advantages of Orban intelligent AGC and multiband processing, you can drop process your podcast file right into it. It'll make it all magical and happy for you and write out a Orban process file. And PCN1600 can be run on a virtualized environment on a server with multiple instances on a single PC-based computer. Depending upon the amount of horsepower you've got, you can run up to 8 instances of PCN1600 software on it. And we also have an option for PPM encoding. So if you are in a Nielsen market or you're streaming in a Nielsen market and you want to have PPM encoding, the PCN1600 has an option for Nielsen encoding.
Now, for the uninitiated, like me, when you say instances, am I hearing like programming streams or something like that? What are we talking about?
Yeah, you can order up PCN1600 with anywhere from 1 to 8 instances. So it'll start up and it runs as a background task and as a Windows service. And you can have up to 8 simultaneous PCN1600 processes going on simultaneously on your computer. So you can process 8 sets of streams or 8 sets of HD channels or anything that needs to be processed with the typical Orban processing, an intelligent AGC, multiband compression and limiting, and automatic speech and music detection. Off you go.
Does it have to be the same thing on all 8 instances?
Nope. They're completely independent.
Okay, got it. Now, give us an idea. Okay, is this working with an existing Orban processor that you may have on your FM or your AM station, or this is totally separate but the same style of processing?
It's totally separate, but the same style of processing. To do FM, we need to be able to generate composite and pilot. There's a whole bunch of stuff there that this isn't set up to do. And, with AM, you've got to have some very specific designs on the audio outputs so you don't get modulation bounce and low frequency tilt. So this is really just a dedicated processing software for things that aren't related to terrestrial AM or FM broadcasting.
But if it's going onto your HD channel, you want it to sound like your terrestrial channel.
Correct. And in that instance, running HD channels, absolutely. This is a great way to get that accomplished and very cost effective. If you're not married to hardware boxes and you need to be cost effective and you're okay with running stuff on Windows platforms, this is a really good solution. We have a customer that's running 8 instances on a Dell blade under Windows, and they're processing all kinds of stuff and doing great things with it, and they're very happy with it. In fact, we have a number of customers running that.
In the podcast world, are they doing multiple instances?
The podcasters typically only need a single instance. So what they typically do is put their whole show together, get it all edited, and then batch file process using the PCN1600 software. So you can take your completed podcast, throw it in the inbox, the PCN1600 will process it, and then write a process file to the outbox, and off you go.
It gives an idea of the kind of remote monitoring this can do.
Well, it's you can look at it on your Windows PC, and it looks just like a multi-band Orban processor. It's got all the same controls. It's got all the same metering. If you're familiar at all with any of the hardware Orban boxes and their interface, it looks just like it.
PCN 1600. Anything that we missed?
Try it. You'll like it.
There you go. Mike Papp has been our guest on this edition of Tech Dive, and I'm John Lynch, Director of Business Development here at BSWUSA.com. By the way, this program produced with the services of HDV Mixer, available exclusively from Broadcast Supply Worldwide. And by the way, you know BSWUSA.com and this phone number. No, it's over there. There it is. See, I'm an old radio guy, not a TV guy. Don't know which way to point on camera, but 800-426-8434. That's our toll-free number. And, of course, BSWUSA.com. Thanks to Mike Pappas from Orban for this discussion of the PCN 1600. And thank you for watching this edition of BSW Tech Dive.